Today we'll be revisiting the Woo Crush Twitter craze.
And we're going to be live tweeting this event, so make sure to follow us on Twitter at Winthrop Close Up and use the hashtag WCULive to talk about the show.
From the Department of Mass Communication at Winthrop University, you're watching Winthrop Close Up.
Welcome to Winthrop Close Up's first live show in front of a studio audience. We're going to be looking at some of the best stories from the semester. Hello, I'm Breanna Robinson.
And I'm Zoe Irizarry. When we were searching for a new president, I introduced you to the candidates.
President DeGiorgio is getting ready to retire at the end of this school year, and finding his replacement has been a long process. Last week we met Dr. Braden and Dr. Dale. Two candidates remain, and they both have big ideas for Winthrop.
The first thing I'm going to do is listen. I'm going to be speaking to students, and not just the student representative. I will be speaking to the students, and I also will be doing that with our faculty as well as our board.
Hammond talked with students in Thompson Cafe, and one student liked how personable he was.
When he came over to the table, me and my friend were laughing, and he was just like, "Oh, what's so funny?" And it just seemed like we was having a normal conversation.
Hammond says he's committed to a student-centered administration. He thinks very highly of Winthrop and hopes to only keep improving if he gets the job.
Winthrop is probably one of the best kept secrets, if you will. And it's about time now for the rest of the country to know really just how well Winthrop has figured out how to meet the needs and academic excellence needs of students.
And last, but certainly not least, let's meet with Dr. Jayne Comstock.
The first task I take on as president is to gather as much information from conversations with people as Winthrop that I could.
This resonated with one student. She felt that Dr. Comstock would really take students' concerns into consideration.
I like her. She's really nice. She's very easy to talk to. She asks questions about us, and it let me know that she cares about the students.
One student feels that huge changes right away aren't necessary.
Minor change is not necessarily anything, big, but I think just really being engaged with the student life.
Dr. Comstock is up for this challenge and says she has one qualification that isn't visible on her resume.
I am intellectually capable of doing this job. I have the skill set that is required. But what I have that you can't see on a piece of paper is the heart for it.
The search is in its final stages, and now that each candidate has visited our campus, it won't be long before we know who the 10th president of Winthrop University will be.
Earlier in the semester, Dr. Comstock was chosen as Winthrop's next president.
Recently, gun violence is not only a political issue, but also a safety concern. Tim Coco has more.
Recent incidents have made the issue of school gun control a hot topic of conversation. Officials at Winthrop decided to take some precautionary steps to ensure the safety of the campus community.
Because of the recent events at Sandy Hook and at Virginia Tech the last couple of years, we decided that we need to have our students be informed of what could happen if our campus came under attack.
The presentation revolved around 6 easy steps to follow. Get out, call out, hide out, help out, keep out, and take out. If all else fails, there is one step to remember that could save your life.
If the student cannot get out of harm's way, they need to find a place and hide in that location and barricade themselves in a particular location to keep them out of sight and out of view of the active shooter.
Being proactive and keeping escape routes accessible can mean the difference between life and death. There is an informative YouTube video titled Run, Hide, Fight that offers an eye-opening understanding on the subject. With so many recent school shootings, it is always good to be prepared. What you learn now can help you later. I am Timothy Coker reporting for Winthrop Close Up.
Now remember that an active shooter will take most casualties within the first 8 minutes, so be prepared.
Save money and still enjoy a good meal? I told you how.
When it comes to meal times, Winthrop students have many options. Some eat on campus, but others eat at various restaurants in Rock Hill. One of the benefits of being a student is the discounts that many restaurants offer. But which restaurants give the deals?
Let's see, you have Ichiro, Domino's, Papa John's, even places, there's a hibachi place, McAllister's, things of that nature.
Other restaurants include Substation 2, Quiznos, Lito's Pizza, The Yoke, and Nishiji's. This student frequents Nishiji's, but had no idea about their student discount.
I actually didn't know. I knew they had a Winthrop discount. I didn't know it was a free drink, and I've come here a lot, so it's kind of sad. I probably could have saved a lot of money if I had known.
Hollington thinks it can never hurt to ask if you're unsure.
As long as you have something Winthrop on you, or you can just say, hey, I'm a Winthrop student, do you give a discount? And they'll say, oh, you know what, yeah, we do. Or sometimes they'll just give you a discount, just because they want your business and they want Winthrop students to come to the restaurant.
So remember to take those student IDs with you when you go out to eat at restaurants in Rock Hill.
This semester, reporter Chelsea Vicari took you on a blast from the past.
Do you ever look around campus and wonder about the people who used to be here? Do you ever imagine only women walking these grounds wearing long skirts as uniforms? Most students don't, but in certain buildings you can see signs of the people that used to be here and gain some insight about what student life was like when Winthrop was first starting out. Access to the 4th floor of Tillman Hall has been banned for several years now. At the top of the stairs, a locked door with masses of history behind it.
On the walls up on the top floor, there are people who wrote their names and what date they wrote their names. Students from the earliest one I saw was 1939, I think. It goes from the mostly 40s, 50s, 60s, and I've seen some from just a few years ago. So people have written their names up there.
Sneaking boys up to the 4th floor and writing on the walls wasn't the only pastime for Winthrop students. Many like to go dancing and hang out at the local bar, much like students do today.
They generally do the same sort of things. They get together and they have fun and are kind of a time to be silly before they have to go out into the real world. Even though in one aspect it's very different, in another aspect it's the same.
The physical campus has been updated and some of the old majors are gone. But one thing has remained constant, the spirit of the Winthrop student. This is Chelsea Vicari reporting for Winthrop Close Up.
Also has a history of having ghosts in some of the older buildings. Dimitri, have any students seen ghosts around campus?
Well, Breanna, I haven't witnessed any ghosts on campus yet, but I have someone here with me who has a phenomenal ghost story. What's your name?
Kate Rischerbarger.
Now, could you tell us the ghost story that you recently told me?
Okay, well, when I was in elementary school, they would always tell us this one story, where it was this guy living by himself in a cabin in the woods, all creepy like, you know, and there was this animal that he kept hearing around his house, and he was able to cut off its tail, but he couldn't really kill it, and so he took its tail and decided to eat it because he was hard up for food. And then that night, when he went to bed, he heard it like scratching on his door and his windows saying, "Taily bone, where's my taily bone?" And they go through that every night for a couple of nights, and eventually it breaks in and kills him and gets its tail back.
Creepy enough, is it not? Well, Winthrop Close Up Live will be back after a short break.